I thought I would give a talk about a day in the life, a day in this life, when we're not in person with each other, when everything continues to be so uncertain. And in a certain way, we're really, everybody on this screen, I mean, we know each other, and it's so dear to see your faces and to be back together. And also we're not in each other's presence. We're probably all deeply concerned about what's unfolding in the world, and definitely in our country at the moment. Handling our own fears and anxieties and hatreds and hostilities. And trying to figure out how to maintain compassion and kindness when it's even more challenging now. Although it certainly is easy in the near front, but it's harder on the further away, the world that we see through the news. And when we're triggered into heavy feeling states, it can be really difficult to re-engage our practice and keep it going. Yet these are the very times that we practice for. And actually everybody here knows that because you're here, and most of you are always here. And I congratulate you in the wisdom to know how essential this practice is. So the theme that's front and center while we can't meet in person at the Zen Center is practicing abundantly in the ordinary settings of our life. It's essential at a time like this. And it's essential to cultivate a practice of no gaps. That's a term I learned from my teacher, Chozen, when she talked about, somebody asked her what her practice was, and she said the practice of no gaps. And I really appreciate that, which is always, at all times, practicing. And what do we mean is being present. We consider it practice because we vow to attend moment by moment to our daily round. What's right here, what's right under our noses. No moment, no action is disposable. Everything is part of the wholeness of our life. So we also dedicate, when we're practicing, we're dedicating the merit of our practice, the merit of our life, for the benefit of others. And when we talk about merit, we're referring to all of the benefit of awakened awareness that we are cultivating. May others come to know awakened awareness. The refuge of awakened awareness, no matter what the circumstances are. Awakened awareness is profound medicine. So we practice by moment attention and dedicating the benefits to all those who are in need. I was looking at an interview with Richie Davidson. Some of you may know of him. He spent his life studying the effects of meditation, a good friend of the Dalai Lama's. And he said, one of the things, he's a neurobiologist. He says that compassion meditation, such as Tonglen or Metta, is anti-inflammatory. I had not known that, literally. Biologically, it affects the brain in such a way that it reduces the inflammatory response biochemically in our bodies. It's really amazing when you think of it, how we know body mind is not separate, but it's now being studied in all kinds of scientific ways, and we're coming up with the fact that it is not. There's not a separation there. So I thought it'd be interesting to go through a sample day and look at how we can keep the practice lively using our Buddhist tools. These tools are simple and always at hand. The tool of the body, our speech, and our minds. No moment, no action, no thought is disposable. We use our actions and our speech and our words and our silence are even more potent when they are held in mindful attention and with intention. So that's kind of the underlying intention in the practice of no gaps. It's continuous. Everything that we do is worthy of attention and is lively when attended to. And one of the tools we can use are gathas, the gathas of others. For instance, gathas are these small statements that turn the mind back to the mind of practice. And Robert Aitken Roshi loved to write gathas about everyday activity. Thich Nhat Hanh has a whole selection of gathas to use when we're engaging in our daily routines. And it's something we really need when the situations that we're facing, like now, are dangerous and concerning and confusing. The Dalai Lama, when asked about anxiety, said that when we're anxious, our view is too small. We need to include others as our focus of concern. And as we do this, anxiety fades. I've noticed that to be true. And using gathas are one of the ways that we can remind ourselves to open awareness and include all beings. So let's go through the day. We're not going to get through the whole everything. When you think about everything that happens in a day, can you count the happenings of a day? I can't. Because you can get ever more small increments, right? Every little nen counts. Every little nen has effect. So we can take a moment to think about the miracle of waking up first thing in the morning. What is your first thought? What is your second thought when you wake up? What is your first thought? What is your second thought? That is a first thought of the day practice. First of all, waking up, that moment where you wake up, is really mysterious. The sudden switch from the world of the sleeping dream to the world of the waking dream. There's such a profound switch between just before you wake up and when you're awake. So the first thought of the day is really potent, and it can set the direction of the whole. It kind of can wake up the vow to be present. So the alarm rings, or maybe you're lucky and you don't need an alarm to wake up. Some people can wake up just because you say, okay, I'm going to wake up at 6:30, and there you are. You're awake at 6:30. You open your eyes, and then you do what the Dalai Lama does every day, first thought practice. May I use this day to benefit all those traveling in the six realms, all those caught in the suffering of delusion and greed and hostility. May I use this day to lend a hand and to bring ease and happiness to whatever situation comes my way, to whatever people I encounter. First thought of the day. First thought of the day can be a vow, can be an affirmation of goodness and generosity, of good health and sensitivity. So that's the first day, and then maybe you get up and the first thing you do is you go and pee, which, kind of my habit. and returning to the earth the water that so freely was offered to me. So anything that that can be a little gata, little thing that you say that appreciates what's going on right now, appreciates the water, this precious water. This is the water planet. And then maybe next you brush your teeth. Brushing my teeth and rinsing my mouth, I vow to speak purely and lovingly. When my mouth is fragrant with right speech, a flower blooms in the garden of my heart. That's Thich Nhat Hanh. So that really adds quite a bit of lather to the toothbrushing ritual. Think of everybody who contributes to that moment. The people who made the toothbrush, packaged it, drove it in a truck to the grocery store or the dentist where you get it. Think of those who were involved in making the toothpaste or the tooth powder and all of the ingredients and where they come from. So this can be a contemplation into the infinite, just the moment of brushing the teeth. And then you wash your hands. Water flows over these hands. May I use them skillfully to preserve our precious planet. So there's another way to really honor the water that we have in abundance. This select group, but not many people. In many parts of the world, water is a precious and rare commodity. And clear drinking water, every time you swallow a mouthful, you can appreciate this incredible blessing. Then let's say you go over to in your bedroom, you open the curtains. I open the curtains to a new day. I greet this fresh morning, this one moment, the only moment. So we're going through, like every moment of the day. These are just examples. You can use your own experience, your own imagination, and come up with your own ways of appreciating each little morsel of your routine. Putting on clothes, the time and sun and water that is the very cloth. I consider where they were made, the fibers that were grown or spun, all the hands that touched them. Who made them? May you be at ease. May you be safe. May you have enough to eat, those of you who made these clothes that I put on. I send blessings and gratitude to you as I button up this shirt. So including the workers of the world who have helped make everything that we use in this world of manufacture. And then you sit down for Zazen. We can take that for granted and not pay too much attention when we sit down for Zazen. But let's think about sitting down for Zazen. Sitting here is like sitting under the Bodhi tree. My body is mindfulness itself, entirely free from distraction. That's a gata that Thich Nhat Hanh uses and teaches. Sitting under the Bodhi tree, I offer this peace and simplicity to inspire kindness and love in all those caught up in the war within and without their hearts and minds. So bringing the mind and heart of practice even to the most contentious aspects of our world. Mindfully, carefully, in the freshness of the morning. These are examples of using gatas, verses to aid mindfulness. Using a gata is using thought to release thought, using thought to seed peace, to seed awareness. We don't have to be afraid of our thoughts. We just can realize the opportunity our thoughts offer us when we're aware of them. We can use their content to direct bodhicitta to others, the intention to awaken. And being able to catch the moment of thought. Now, I don't know about you, but we come into really interesting relationship with our thoughts when we are meditators. Because basically, you know, we can have a hostile relationship, like we try to stop the thought, enemy. But the way the Dalai Lama has said that the way you vanquish your enemies is by making them your friend. And an example of that is coming into a much more interested and friendly relationship to thought. Not getting into a power struggle with a thought, but just recognizing it for what it is. Like we do with our friends. We love them for who they are, how they are. Being able to catch the moment of thought. This is how we bring the muscle of our practice into our thought stream. With sturdy and continual practice, we catch the thought on the fly. And sometimes you might have this experience of like, where did that thought come from? And we're especially likely to have that experience when we're meditating, when we're kind of quiet. And then suddenly the strangest things come to mind. You can always use the materials of the moment to transform suffering into peace and liberation. There's no moment or action that is disposable in the cloth of our life. Whatever those materials are, thoughts, memories, sensations are all seeds for awakening throughout the day, the daily round. So while we're on this topic of memory, you know, I've been talking a little bit about thought. How about memory? Memories are mental phenomena that crop up clearly or subtly. Sometimes you really, you know, a memory comes to mind and there's a whole vivid picture in the mind's eye of it, or there can be an auditory memory. Something reminds you of something else. And sometimes memories are very, very subtle. Sometimes memories are happy. And we can appreciate and offer this same happiness to somebody who you know who could use a little dose of happiness. When a happy thought comes, you can dedicate it to somebody who could really use a happy thought. What about an unhappy memory? Well, we can bring compassion to the cast of characters in that memory and bring our wisdom and kindness to them back in time to relieve all the suffering that is contained in that memory. That's a very potent practice. And it's a potent source for atonement. Things that we've done that we are ashamed of or that we regret, or things where we have been harmed by something that happens to us, bringing wisdom and compassion to those memories and offering that back then when it happened. I encourage you to work with that one. I don't even know if that's an official practice, but it's one that I have been using for a long time. It's actually also kind of the mechanism of metta practice, loving kindness practice, isn't it? Where you think of the enemy, you send loving thoughts, protective thoughts to those who are very difficult. And then over time, that can really make a difference in how it actually unfolds now in the present. that relationship. Well, anyway, so that's one of the things that you can do with memory during Zazen. And then you let the memory go and resume Zazen, or resume whatever you're doing when it came up. While doing Zazen, it's an opportunity to dedicate our clear mind and open heart to a world of nearly 8 billion people that are so distracted by struggle and may never have heard of the Dharma, may not know refuge at all. So here we are in the glory of good companions in the way. We can offer this to all those who don't have this blessing. We can offer the wish for them that they awaken from their suffering dream, bringing attention to each breath. This in itself is an offering, adding a little more attention to the world, being open to the sufficiency of each moment, for the freedom in this moment, freedom from the grasping mind that thinks something is missing. In Zazen, we can sit simply in the practice of wholeness. We can call this holiness. We don't have to make anything happen, or to be somewhere else, or to be somebody else. We can be glad with even a moment of quiet mind. It takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of oomph to really let go and be completely present to just this, what's going on right here. With no gap, entirely here. Back to body and mind doing the same thing. Breathing, reciting a mantra, listening, offering metta, just sitting in bare attention, whatever the practice is. And we can bring this same practice to all of our daily activities. Starting the car, getting into the car, driving a car. Before starting the car, I know where I am going. The car and I are one. If the car goes fast, I go fast. If the car goes slow, I go slow. Oneness. How about when you stop at a stop sign? What a wonderful moment to take a breath of mindfulness and experience the stillness. Come to a complete stop. Working on the computer. Feeling your posture. Noticing how the attention is completely taken into the screen. You can be sitting there looking at a screen and have whole worlds of experience, emotion, intention, effect, or you just sit there and look. Or we're entering a room. When you enter a room, you're going from one space to another space. Talking on the telephone. Thich Nhat Hanh always said, stop when you reach for the telephone, take a breath first, and then answer. Because when you answer the telephone, it is a moment of transition. So be present. It's like the stop sign. Stop, come to a complete stop, and then pick it up. And he has a gatha. Words can travel thousands of miles. May my words create mutual understanding and love. May they be as beautiful as gems, as lovely as flowers. That's Thich Nhat Hanh. And washing the dishes, one of my favorite things to do. Washing the dishes is like bathing a baby Buddha. The profane is the sacred. Everyday mind is Buddha's mind. The sensuality of washing the dishes. How many times a day do you turn on the water? Do you really notice the water? You hear it, you feel it, how soft water is. The entire world is water. Gata for turning on the water. As I turn on the water, my body essence pours before me. Clouds, oceans, rivers, and deep wells all support my life. So you get the idea. I hope you can be inspired by this reminder of how rich practice opportunity is every moment, every activity of the day, every thought, every inclination, from the waking up to falling asleep as well. Falling asleep is a fascinating journey to be aware of as you go. And then meditating or walking or in any moment, you can recite this. I have arrived. I am home. In the here, I am free. In the now, I am free. In the ultimate, I dwell. So these are the words of the day. May you all enjoy your practice. In this Buddha life that indwells as soon as we realize it and offer it generously and freely to everywhere, everybody, everything. Thank you.